Good morning, Bacon Academy. Coming up on today's show, a shooting in Las Vegas, a challenge to the historic Voting Rights Act, and an asteroid detecting satellite. All that and more now on the Bacon Academy Student News. Today is Monday, February 25th, 2013. I'm Bernie Dennler.
And I'm Matt McAllister.
The Bacon Academy wrestling team sent 4 of their athletes to the State Open Championship tournament this weekend held at James Hillhouse High School in New Haven, Connecticut. Sophomore Connor O'Brien, junior Howie Kilpatrick, and seniors Matt McAllister and PJ Sawicki all qualified at last weekend's Class M tournament by placing top 6 in their weight classes. The Bobcats proudly sent all of their wrestlers, with the exception of O'Brien, to the finals of the state's largest in-season tournament. McAllister and Kilpatrick were able to capture titles over South Windsor's Connor Caffrey at 126 and New Britain's Giovanni Medina at 132 respectively, while Sawicki fell short in a close match against Andrew Cavanna of Glastonbury. Danbury High School walked away with the team title, and Bacon Academy finished 9th overall as a team. The 3 local finalists are set to wrestle in the New England Championship next weekend in Providence, Rhode Island.
Students interested in trying out for Bacon's baseball team should report to the Portable 10 after school tomorrow. The meeting will be held at 2:30.
Diversity Club will also meet tomorrow after school in the Foods Room to plan future events. All members should attend and see Miss Murphy if they have any questions.
In Las Vegas on Thursday, 3 people were killed in a shooting and a car crash after an altercation at a nearby casino spilled out onto the street. A Maserati driven by aspiring rapper Kenny Cherry was fired upon by passengers in a Range Rover. Authorities reported that Cherry was shot to death, and the shooting caused Cherry to crash into a taxicab that exploded and killed both people in the cab.
Back in December, an Illinois man shot and killed his girlfriend in the lobby of the Excalibur Hotel, which caused the hundreds of people in the lobby to run out into the street. Las Vegas authorities are calling these incidents and many others like them isolated, and that Las Vegas continues to be safe.
Authorities are searching for 2 adults and 2 young children missing off the coast of San Francisco after their 29-foot sailboat took on water, the Coast Guard announced yesterday afternoon. The vessel, possibly named Charmblow, was about 65 miles off the coast of Pillar Point when someone on board radioed the Coast Guard, saying that their boat was taking on water and the vessel's electronics were failing. After an hour, the occupants abandoned the ship and broke contact with the Coast Guard. Several aircrafts and vessels have joined the search for the missing boaters.
This week, the United States Supreme Court will hear a challenge to the historic Voting Rights Act of 1964, which ensured all Americans the right and ability to vote regardless of race. The case of Shelby County versus Holder will address a specific section of the law which requires several states to obtain Justice Department approval before changing voting laws or maps. Originally, the law was designed to prevent states like Alabama from using such changes to discriminate against certain racial voting blocs. These states claim that the law has placed an outdated burden on them and that such racial concerns are not a factor in modern America.
On Sunday, Park Geun-hye was sworn in as South Korea's president after beating Moon Jae-in in late 2012 in the general election. She took oath in front of thousands of people, and Ms. Park stated that in her inauguration that she would, quote, not tolerate any action that threatened the lives of our people and the security of our nation. Ms. Park is the daughter of former military spokesman Park Chung-hee, who ruled South Korea for almost 2 decades and is the first woman to lead South Korea.
Keith O'Brien, the United Kingdom's senior cardinal, has announced that he will be stepping down effective immediately, according to a statement published in the Scottish Catholic News Office. Cardinal O'Brien, who is the leader of the Roman Catholic Church in Scotland, was a leading contender in the election of Pope Benedict XVI's successor. Since the 1980s, Cardinal O'Brien has been battling allegations of inappropriate behavior toward priests, stating, but no evidence links this as his cause for resignation.
Cuban leader Raul Castro, who succeeded his brother Fidel in 2006, has announced his new term will be his last. The 81-year-old president called this coming transition a historic and definitive step in the future direction of the nation. Cuba-U.S. relations have been strained at best since the Cuban Revolution in 1959 when Fidel Castro assumed power. The 2 nations do not have formal diplomatic relations, and an embargo forbidding U.S. corporations from trading with Cuba has been in place since the 60s. It is unknown how this transition will affect this unique relationship.
Finally, in science news, Today, a small Canadian satellite will be launching from India as the first satellite of its kind built to monitor space junk in the solar system and search for asteroids. The Canadian Space Agency's Near-Earth Object Surveillance satellite will seek and track large objects orbiting the Sun and will circle the Earth about once every 100 minutes. The satellite will hopefully allow scientists to detect future threats to our planet, but the CSA notes that this satellite will not be able to spot smaller objects like the one that exploded over Russia earlier this month.
That's all for today. Join us again tomorrow for more school, local, U.S., and world news.
And remember, you can catch us online too at youtube.com/BA Student News.